Guys Hits with Scotty 2 Hockey, and welcome back to the old format. Unfortunately, my computer monitor is broken, so I can't do my videos the way I usually do them. I can't edit in a lot of clips. I'm going to try and put a few clips in this video the best I can, but it's a different format. This is the way I originally started out the channel. I know it's not shot in landscape mode, it's shot in portrait mode. Unfortunately, the phone I'm using, that's the only way it will shoot, so hopefully I can get a computer monitor going soon and I can get that webcam back up and I can edit my videos the way I used to. I know a lot of people do like this format as well, but if you're watching on a laptop as opposed to a phone, it's not the best view. It's not the full screen, but it is what it is for now. I'm doing the best I can with what I got. But what I'd like to talk about right now is a lot of fans are talking about, would they rather see the Montreal Canadiens make the playoffs or lose a pile of the next games and not make the playoffs? Realistically, they're probably not going to make the playoffs anyways, no matter what they do. They have 32 games left. They're 10 points out of the second wildcard spot. They're 10 points out of third in the Atlantic. There's 3 teams ahead of them. Buffalo, Toronto, and Philly are ahead of Montreal. 3 very good teams. They're all battling for a wildcard spot, and Toronto and Buffalo are battling for third in the Atlantic. And there's only 32 games left. So realistically, to get in, Montreal is going to lead at least 97 points, in my opinion. At least 97 points, and that might not even get them in. So they're going to need to win at least 22 of their next 32 games and hopefully get an overtime loss in there between two. Get an extra point with the overtime loss. So it really isn't looking good for the Habs getting in this year. But myself personally, what do I want? What would I want to see? I want to see playoffs. I do not want to see the Montreal Canadiens lose a pile of games, have good percentages in the lottery of getting first overall, and still not get first overall. End up getting 6th or 7th or something like that, and not get a player who's going to completely change your franchise. Let's face it, the odds of getting Byfield or Lafreniere, a player like that, an instant game changer, they're really, really low. But I wouldn't be mad if Montreal went that route, but I don't think Marc Bergevin's going to do that. And I don't think he's going to make a lot of moves at the deadline. I think he's going to keep this team intact. He's going to keep the same attitude he had last year and say, Carey Price, Shea Weber, our young players, our offense can get us through this, and we're going to win 22 of the next 32 games. We're going to pull out 98 points, and we're going to get into the playoffs. But honestly, it's really not looking like it's going to happen. But me as a fan, what would I like to see? I want to see playoffs. 3 years of the Habs not being in the playoffs is killing me. For the past 10 years, I'm so used to seeing the Montreal Canadiens get into the playoffs at least once every second year and win a round or two, have a good series with Boston, and we haven't seen that in 3 years. And as a fan, I don't want to see Montreal lose. I'm all about the winning attitude, and I want to see them make the playoffs. So that's what I would like to see. Currently, the Habs' record is 22, 21, and 7. They sit 5th in the Atlantic. They only have 51 points. They're 16th for goals for with 155, and goals against, they're 19th in the league with 157. Now, my notable best players for the Habs this year, in my opinion, have been Thomas Tatar. With 50 games played, he has 43 points, 17 goals, 26 assists. Nick Suzuki, who's been awesome as a rookie, could even end up being nominated for a Calder, being one of the 3 nominees. 50 games played, he has 9 goals, he's almost at double-digit goals already. 27 points, he should hit around the 40-point mark, in my opinion. And Yoel Armia, he did miss a few games, but in 37 games played, he has 13 goals, he's already tied his career high, 9 assists, and 22 points. Those players have been awesome for the Habs this year, and if they are going to get over the hump, along with Carey Price, who I will talk about in a second, those are the players that are really going to need to continue playing good. And mediocre players, guys who haven't really stood out and haven't really been a huge letdown, guys like Domi and Gallagher, they're playing the way I expect them to play, but they're not really elevating their game the way I would like to see either. Now, my notable letdowns for this season, I only have 2. The biggest one for me this year has to be Carey Price. In 40 games played, he has a 20-16-4 record, a .908 save percentage, and a 2.84 goals against. For the highest paid goalie in the league, the guy who was supposed to be the best goalie in the league, compared to what we're seeing out there from other goalies, it's just not consistent enough, it's just not good enough, and it's not going to get this team that needs top quality goaltending into the playoffs. So Price really, really needs to step up his game. And my other biggest letdown for this season, I made a video going into the season that I thought he was going to have a breakout year this year. He's eventually going to be a superstar. I still think he's eventually going to be a superstar, but this year he's really struggled. Picked it up a little bit as of late. It is Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Jesperi Kotkaniemi, in 35 games played, has 6 goals, 2 assists, only 8 points. He's on pace for like 14 points or something compared to the 34 he had last year as a rookie. I know he didn't play the full season. He missed a few games so far. It really is a big letdown, and the sophomore jinx has definitely hit Jesperi Kotkaniemi. But as for me personally, what do I want to see from the Montreal Canadiens? I want to see Price stand on his head. I want to see him steal 22 regulation wins out of the next 32 games, drop an overtime game here and there, get that extra point, force it into overtime, don't lose games by 1 goal. Carey Price has to be phenomenal. The defense has to be phenomenal, and every player absolutely needs to elevate their game. They had to have 3 scoring lines. The 4th line has to be an excellent checking line, and young players like Ryan Poehling and Jesperi Kotkaniemi and Cale Fleury, when he's playing, they need to elevate their game too. They need to step it up. It's crunch time now. There's 32 games left. The Habs need to win 22 of these next 32 at least and drop 1 or 2 in overtime, get those extra points. 97 to 98 points, maybe even 100 is what they're going to need to get into the playoffs this year. I do have faith they can do it, but a lot of people have asked me, what do I want? Do I want to see him lose for Lafreniere, or do I want to see him buckle down, do everything they can to get into the playoffs, even if it means not getting a high draft pick, even if it means picking middle of the pack? I'm all about that winning attitude, and I want to see Montreal win now. That's just my personal opinion, the average hockey fan. So let me know what you think, guys. Hope you like the setup I'm using right now. Let me know what you think of the setup as well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and of course, open ice hits with Scotty to Hockey. Have a great day, and I'm sorry if I talked a bit fast. Haven't done it in this format in a while. A little bit nervous in front of the camera, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Go Habs, go. Over and out.